Key terms in CAL, CMC, and online language learning. Updated October 5th, 2025 by Dr. Mohammed Hossein Hariri ASL. Time to read 16 minutes, 9 views, no comments. Table of contents. Video of key terms in CAL, CMC, and online language learning. Asynchronous CMC. Computer-Assisted Language Learning, CAL. Computer-Mediated Communication, CMC. Content-Based Instruction, CBI. Integrative CAL. Interactivity. Negotiation of meaning. Online communication. Peer assessment. Social context. Social presence. Synchronous CMC. References. Understanding the key terms in computer-assisted language learning, CAL, and computer-mediated communication, CMC, is essential for exploring how technology enhances second language education. This article defines crucial concepts such as asynchronous and synchronous CMC, integrative CAL, interactivity, social presence, and peer assessment. By clarifying these foundational terms, readers gain deeper insights into the role of online communication, collaboration, and learner autonomy in modern language classrooms. These definitions provide a solid basis for both research and practice in digital language learning. Video of key terms in CAL, CMC, and online language learning. Asynchronous CMC. Asynchronous learning for busy language learners at LELB Society. If the data and language products are typed and stored for numerous sorts of analyses, such as self-corrections, pause time, dictionary lookup use, reflection, feedback, etc., then we are dealing with an asynchronous type of CMC, Gass and Selinker, 2008. In this study, asynchronous CMC is majorly practiced via posting, commenting, and replying on the part of the teachers and students. Two obvious examples of asynchronous CMC are 1. The student-student interactivity on our comment forums prior to any roundtable session, and 2. Our question and answer forum in which the students pose their English questions and the teacher or other students would respond to them. Computer-Assisted Language Learning, CAL. CAL is defined as the search for and study of applications of the computer in the field of language teaching and learning, LELB, 1997. CAL covers a broad spectrum of concerns, including the pedagogies implemented through technology and their evaluation. As a consequence, CAL draws from other areas within and beyond applied linguistics for conceptual and technical tools to account for and evaluate computer-based learning, Chappell, 2001. In this interactive and integrative network-based investigation, CAL refers to a specific orientation toward employing computers and cyber technology for the sake of learning English as a second language online, with a particular emphasis on establishing an interactive and collaborative learning environment. It is important to note that in this study, as it is typical of any integrative CAL system, the student-student interaction patterns are prioritized over sheer utilization of technology. McBride and Seago, 1996. Computer-Mediated Communication, CMC. CMC is a research area regarding communication that takes place among human beings through the instrumentality of computers. Herring, 1996. CMC includes email, video conferencing, internet relay chat, IRC, commenting, posting, etc., because it investigates the nature of communication via text, audio, and video on computers. Harrington and Levy, 2001. In this study into the field of integrative CAL, CMC makes a reference to the facilitative and enabling impact of computers that is conducive to the creation of an effective network-based learning environment and optimization of student interactivity. That is to say, the L2 learners engaging in some communicative activities, namely collaborative writing, argue for / against, and roundtable, are encouraged to maximize computer technology for educational purposes to learn with and from each other. Content-based instruction, CBI. Content-based instruction in language learning. CBI refers to the teaching of language by exposing the students to content that is interesting and relevant to them. Brinton, 2003. Through CBI, language becomes the medium to convey informational content of interest and relevance to the learner. Language takes on its appropriate role as a vehicle for accomplishing a set of content goals. Brown, 2007. In this study, The researcher endeavors to call the attention of the students to informative and thought-provoking subjects such as stress, global village, workaholism, immigration, insomnia, carpe diem, etc., to augment the level of their motivation, activeness, and interactivity. Furthermore, the L2 learners are inspired to assume active responsibilities in developing the main content of our conversation class, especially round table sessions, through posing questions to each other and replying to them asynchronously in our comment forums and discussion boards. Integrative call. Integrative call is the most recent genre of call in which socio-collaborative approaches to teaching and learning are replacing the communicative ones to account for more learner autonomy, collaborative project design, and appropriate assessment practices. Gruba, 2004. In this research, it is attempted to create an opportunity for the L2 learners to optimize their both communication and individualization at the same time through encouraging them to augment their interaction with the other students, especially by commenting, voting for/against, replying, etc., and increasing their reflectivity and autonomy through developing the content of the course and practicing self and peer assessment in our comment forums and discussion boards prior to each synchronous class. That is to say, not only will the students become interactive and communicative call, but they will also become autonomous and individualized, integrative call. Interactivity. Interactivity includes the activities in which CMC users engage and the communication styles they use, namely task types, topics, Argyle and Dean, 1965, responsive time, immediacy in online interaction, Baker, 2010, Cobb, 2009, 2002, exchange of feedback, and the size of online communities, Swan, 2002, 2001/2002, 2 and McIsaac, 2002. Gunawardena, 1995, argues that interactivity refers to the required design and strategy to trigger social presence. In this study, it refers to the collaborative activities that the L2 learners and the researcher engage in to fulfill group-based tasks and activities, namely roundtable and collaborative writing, with a particular emphasis on practicing asynchronous peer assessment. As a result, interactivity, in this inquiry, implies social activeness, as opposed to individualization on the part of the students. Negotiation of meaning. Negotiation for meaning, and especially negotiation work that triggers interactional adjustments by the NS or more competent interlocutor, facilitates acquisition because it connects input, internal learner capacities, particularly selective attention, and output in productive ways. Long, 1996, pages 451 to 452. If teachers can guide students through getting into the right kinds of conversations, online conversations and discussions could extend the opportunities beyond what the learners can do in the traditional classrooms, and the virtual venues would become ideal for practicing negotiation of meaning. Chappell and Jameson, 2008. In this research, the students will practice a great deal of negotiation of meaning. Both asynchronously in our comment forums and discussion boards, and synchronously in our voice-based argue for/against and round table sessions to ask for clarification, because, on the one hand, this is the students who are the principal content developers of the course, and on the other hand, these responsible students are supposed to arrive at a conclusion at the end of each conversation class with reference to their negotiations. Moreover, the ongoing and open stream of asynchronous activities on our blog could make it feasible for the learners to exercise negotiation of meaning continuously and recursively in a nested or a threaded form. Online communication. Online communication is concerned with the attributes of the language used online and the applications of online language. 2 and McIsaac, 2002. To be successful online communicators, L2 learners need to develop some text-based skills, namely typing, reading, and writing, in general, computer literacy, because without these skills, students will develop communication anxiety. Gunawardena, 1991, as cited in 2 and McIsaac, 2002. In this research, Online communication refers to the administrative, instructional, and managerial affairs provided by the teacher with the intention of generating a sense of belonging in the students. For instance, teacher assessment is intentionally delayed and performed only after students' self-assessment and peer assessment. In addition, the teacher's presence in the community and his immediacy in our asynchronous activities are consciously controlled to promote more student-driven online communication. Peer assessment. Peer assessment and feedback can encourage a collaborative dialogue in which two-way feedback is established and meaning is negotiated between the two parties. It triggers highly complex socio-cognitive interactions involving arguing, explaining, clarifying, and justifying. Rawlinson, 2005. In this research, the students are encouraged to monitor their own learning, self-assessment, and also that of their classmates, peer assessment through commenting, self-editing, and replying to the comments of their peers, etc., which per se might increase the level of interaction among the learners. To prompt an abundance of asynchronous peer assessment, teacher assessment is delayed and regarded only as a last resort. Asynchronous activities on our comment forums and discussion boards equipped with a voting system and threaded or nested commenting could facilitate the process of peer assessment. Social context. Social contexts such as task orientation, privacy, topics, recipient/social relationships, and social process contribute to the degree of social presence. 2 and McIsaac, 2002. In this socially oriented inquiry, it is attempted to provide a socially interactive setting for the participants to make a substantial contribution to the online community through sending private messages to each other, instant messaging, chatting, polling, commenting, posting, replying, attending forums, and so forth. This social context is set up in a way that provides the L2 learners with a private network of communication to ensure a more secure interactive atmosphere through account creation and using usernames and passwords on the part of the students with the researchers' approval. Social presence. Social presence is defined as the degree of salience of another person in an interaction and the consequent salience of an interpersonal relationship, short, Williams and Christie, 1976, as cited in 2001. A more recent definition of the social presence theory was offered by Gunawardena, 1995, as the degree to which a person is perceived as a real person in mediated communication. Social presence, which is an integral element of student satisfaction, 2001, is differentiated from interactivity in the sense that it requires the learners to perfect and complete their interactivity with awareness. Gunawardena, 1995. That is to say, when learners notice and appreciate this superior level of awareness to interactivity, they can perceive and experience genuine social presence. In this study, generating a sense of social presence among the L2 learners in our CALL program is definitely the ultimate objective, and it will be attempted to fulfill this goal through raising the L2 learners' awareness level of the presence of their classmates, albeit online, in order to have interaction with them, especially asynchronously, and in our comment forums and discussion boards. The elevation of the students' awareness is to be fulfilled by exposing them to challenging and informative topics, Argyle and Dean, 1965, that require them to have interpersonal relationships with each other, Walther and Burgoon, 1992, to practice negotiation of meaning so as to achieve a sense of satisfaction, Gunawardena, 1995, Gunawardena and Zittel, 1997, as cited in Cobb, 2009. Synchronous CMC. Students interact with each other and the teacher at the same time through chatting, video or voice conferencing, streaming, etc. It has been argued that SCMC interactions provide learners with more additional processing and planning time than face-to-face interactions. Smith, 2003. Smith and Gorsuch, 2004. In addition, SCMC may provide learners with enhanced visual saliency of complex or low salience forms. Smith, 2003. Smith, 2010, as cited in Mackey, 2012. The participants in this research will experience SCMC via instant messaging or chatting and participating in our online classes in the form of voice conferencing on Skype and Discord in our roundtable and argue for/against sessions. References: Argyle and Baker, C.
Brinton, D. Brown, H. Chapelle, CA.
Guess, SM, et Selinker. Chapelle, CA. Cobb, SC. 2009. Gruba, P. Gunawardena, C.
Harrington, M. et Levy.
Herring, S. 19. Levy, M.
Long, Monsieur H.
Mackey, A. McBride, N. Rawlinson, P. Smith, B. Smith, B. and Swan, K.
Tu, CH. 2001. Tu, CH. Tu, CH.
Walter, Ye, Be. Summarize with ChatGPT. Share this post. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Telegram, email. About the author. Dr. Mohammed Hossein Hariri ASL. Dr. Mohammed Hossein Hariri ASL is an English and Persian instructor, educator, researcher, inventor, published author, blogger, SEO expert, website developer, entrepreneur, and the creator of LELB Society. He's got a PhD in TEFL, teaching English as a foreign language. Number of posts, 4201. Related posts. Research questions and hypotheses on social presence in call programs. TESOL/TSL issues through call. Can you be friends with AI? Pros and cons explained. Website management tips and services. Building social presence in call for online English learning. TESOL/TSL issues through call. Related keywords. Asynchronous learning, collaborative learning, computer-assisted language learning, content-based instruction, interaction, online classes, PhD thesis on social presence in call round table social presence technology.